Broncos country, how are we feeling? Day 2, we have made, well, not two new signings. We've made one re-signing and one new signing for the Broncos today. So we're going to get into that. There's still some moves the Broncos could be made, but don't expect a couple of big signings. If I were to guess anything, I would guess maybe some more depth guys, and that would be about it. We could splash and go after one more free agent. It would just have to depend on what the contract looks like. It would have to be a backloaded contract because we don't have a whole lot of cap space left when we look at it, and we have to save $9 million for the NFL draft. So just keep that in mind. Maybe we could still get a Bobby Wagner, although I would say it's almost unlikely. Maybe an offensive tackle like La'el Collins. We'll have to see. But without further ado, let's look at the two signings that the Broncos made today. First, I want to remind you that Jesus is king, and I know a lot of people got upset about that when I said it the other day, but I don't care. I'm going to continue to spread the gospel and spread the message that I just truly hope and pray that you give your life to Jesus and that you believe with your whole heart that he died on the cross for your sins. And if you truly believe that with your whole heart, that he rose from the dead and took your sins on the cross, then you'll go to heaven. It's a message I love to share with everyone, and I just want to try to see more people get to heaven. And with that being said, let's jump in to the first signing, which was made this morning, and that is signing edge rusher Randy Gregory away from the Cowboys. This morning, so the deal is a 5-year deal worth $70 million, and $28 million is guaranteed of that salary. And it's kind of funny because the Cowboys offered him this exact same deal. He accepted it, and then he backed out. And what I have heard is that they agreed on terms, and then someone started to throw more things and more stuff into that contract that they wanted after they agreed. And so Gregory kind of got mad and said, you know what, no. And then he signs with the Broncos, which, works out in our favor. I do love this move. Now, it's not going to be as flashy as like a Chandler Jones or a Von Miller, which a lot of Broncos fans were hoping for. But this solves or adds a solid pass rusher. He's on the up and up, and he needs to prove himself. And it does give the Broncos an out with only 28 of the $70 million being guaranteed. And if he performs, then great. He gets more money and he stays on the team long term. If not, then we have an out after a few seasons. I love this move. When I woke up this morning and I saw that Randy Gregory was signed, I was like, darn, okay, guess we're going after Von Miller, Chandler Jones. And then the news breaks that he's coming to the Broncos. And I couldn't be more stoked. We needed an edge rusher. Now, I will say this, with the signing of Randy Gregory, obviously we all knew we were most likely going to draft a rookie edge rusher in the draft, but depending on who we signed, that would be where we drafted him. If we got a Von Miller or a Chandler Jones, I would say we would draft him maybe with our second, third round pick, or somewhere in like the 4th round. But with a Randy Gregory, who I do think has a lot of upside for the Broncos, I still would say we draft one with either our 2nd round pick or with one of our 2 3rd-round picks, if I were to guess. Just because, I do like Randy Gregory. I think he can be a solid edge rusher, but I just think we'll pick an edge rusher early in the draft as well. Either way, we would have picked one early, but earlier than we would have, say, a Chandler Jones or a Von Miller. He adds some grit to the Broncos defense. He adds some tough nastiness, and that's something we need on the defense. And in the past 22 games he has played in, he has 11 starts, so he started half of those. He has 9.5 sacks, 29 quarterback hits, and that was via Zach Stevens on Twitter from DMVR. And then this past season, he had 6 sacks, 17 quarterback hits, and 4 tackles for loss this past season. So yeah, solid move for George Payton. Picking up an edge rusher. We needed an edge rusher in this with this division, getting after those quarterbacks of Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and even Derek Carr. And I think Randy Gregory will help with that tremendously. Takes the pressure off of Bradley Chubb. I love this signing. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Now let's get to the second signing and a re-signing for the Broncos and the outlaw and Josey Jewell linebacker. You know, he was our 4th round pick in 2018 linebacker coming out of Iowa. It's a 2-year deal worth $11 million. He's getting $5.5 million per season. I didn't really do the breakdown of guaranteed and stuff for this one because this just happened as of recording this video. You know, Josey Jewell's that thumping, hard-hitting linebacker who's going to help in the run support. He's not so much of a coverage guy, doesn't have any interceptions, not the best in coverage, but he is that run-supporting role that this defense needs. You know, we signed DJ Jones last night, and Josey Jewell also help in the run game with that. We missed him last season because our run game, or the run defense, just went down after he went out with injury, I believe, in, what was it, like week 3. So yeah, we needed him back. You know, in 30 games he has he has 133 tackles, 84 assist tackles, 217 total tackles, 12 tackles for loss, and 7 QB hits. And you know what surprises me, I thought we would sign back maybe one more linebacker, maybe an AJ Johnson, maybe a Kenny Young, but maybe not. Maybe we let them go to a different team, and we roll with Josey Jewell and Baron Browning as the starters, and then you have Jonas Griffith and Justin Sternad as the backups. Maybe that's how the Broncos rolled. Maybe George Payton feels comfortable, and he's going to save that cap space that would go to an Alexander Johnson, that would go to a Kenny Young, and use it for something else. Or maybe he takes that, goes after Bobby Wagner. You know, I would say it's unlikely that move happens, but not impossible. Then, you know, we could go after a cornerback as well. So, yeah, there's a couple things the Broncos could do by not bringing back a Kenny Young or an Alexander Johnson, saving cap space. But I definitely think Josey Jewell, out of all the linebackers, was the most likely to come back because of that run support role that he plays and just being a hard hitter on the defense. 2 more years of Josey Jewell, 2 more years of the outlaw. I love this move. Let me know what your thoughts are of the 2 Broncos moves that we have made today in the comment section below. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow my Twitter, you know, for instant reactions and updates over there. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.